Welcome, everybody, back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be talking pretty much exclusively about the quarterback position and really about Trey Lance. Now, if you guys haven't really been filled in with 49er news, he has been on an absolute tear, back-to-back practices with only a single incompletion. Dude looks like a monster. D'Amico Ryans talked about him running the football, says he is lethal in that department. Fred Warner said that he's a top 5 player on this offense already. And we have got to see some amazing throws from him. I believe it was to Trent Sherfield was the one that he threw the other day where he's backing up, throws off his back foot, pretty much a 50-yard bomb down the sideline where 2 defenders are closing in, and he basically gets it right over the shoulder of Trent Sherfield for about a 50-yard gain. And he's been spectacular. And then on the other side, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's been atrocious or anything like that, but it seems pretty clear that he's been outperformed up to this point by Trey Lance. So, Aiden, before we kind of get into this question, I just want to ask you, where do you stand with Trey Lance right now? Because this is our first time that we've talked since training camp has started and, since the 49ers have put their pads on as well.
Yeah, I think that you really hit it right on the head. The way that I'm taking it is Jimmy has looked maybe the best that he has in any 49ers training camp, and Trey Lance looks substantially better. So that's crazy for a guy who played 1 year of college, came in as the number 3 pick, and is coming out and lighting, albeit the twos. They don't belong on the same field. I saw a tweet kind of phrased like that, which is crazy to think about for this 21-year-old rookie. But yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. Lots of read option stuff, which I think is pretty interesting. And you and I had talked probably a month ago now. We were like, I don't know if Jimmy's going to start week 1. I think I was a little bit warmer to it than you were. But I think that seems more and more likely with each passing day, which is not something that either of us really expected.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our question for this segment is Trey Lance going to be the week 1 starter? Is that what we're expecting? And at this point, I said before the training camp started, and I've been really high on Trey Lance coming out, but I didn't think that he was going to be the week 1 starter. I thought it'd be Jimmy Garoppolo, and I didn't really think Trey Lance would start at all this year. I've always thought that the plan has been you bring Trey Lance in the building, he sits under Garoppolo for a full season, and then comes out in 2022, and he's the starter then. It really doesn't feel like that's going to be the case at all. Not only that Jimmy's going to start the whole year, because that seems almost like it does. I would not expect that in any capacity at this point where he's going to be that full year-long starter. But it also is becoming more and more likely, like you said, that Trey Lance rolls out week 1 and that he's the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. You have reports that are this high. He's getting more praise than any of the other rookie quarterbacks. Yes, more than Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields has looked amazing, and he's got more praise than him. Mac Jones has not had the best camp reports. I do know that Zach Wilson threw like some deep balls where he sat in the pocket for like 15 seconds, but definitely not the reports that they haven't been as positive out of the Jets camp. But these Trey Lance reports are insane. Benjamin Allwright basically said that people are calling him Patrick Mahomes, the second Patrick Mahomes 2.0. And I forgot who it was. I think it was in John Middlecoff's show. He said that someone said, it might not have been him, it might have been someone else, but someone had said that he believes that Trey Lance, if he rolls out week 1, will be a top 10 quarterback at that time. I'm not saying I believe that, but like how much positivity has been surrounding Trey Lance is what needs to be pointed out. And this is something I wouldn't have expected early on. Some of the big takeaways are his motion looks way different. And one of the biggest issues with him coming out, and I thought he would be able to fix it up quite a bit, is his motion was pretty long, took a long time to get the ball out, especially on deep throws. And he would use his whole body, which is great, but it wasn't a very compact motion. Well, he's worked with who I think is the greatest quarterback coach in the world, in Jordan Palmer, and his motion is way faster and it's really compact. Where he used to kind of elongate it and it'd be like out wide, it's right here. It's a lot of torque. He's getting the ball quick, and also if you see the drills that they have been doing, it's so many RPO based things where it's RPO, get the ball out quick on a quick slant. And it's really like all these drills are tailor made to keep improving his motion and keep speeding it up. So that is probably the biggest takeaway so far. Along with that, Aiden, you told me there's a really funny quote about this, so I'll make sure to have you come back to it. But Trey Lance has been on the iPad. He's been studying the most out of any player. Kyle Shanahan did say something pretty funny about that. But you definitely see the understanding of the offense also early on, because he's a guy where, and this was one of my favorite things about him, he's a very intelligent person. And you just hear him talk a little bit, you could tell he really gets it. And even at North Dakota State, he would call the adjustments, do all that stuff. He's basically stepped into the 49ers offense, and this is training camp, but he has done all those things pretty much exactly how he did at North Dakota. So really, really impressed on those two fronts. But Aiden, you wanna bring up Kyle's quote, and then also just how are you feeling about the motion? How are you feeling about his ability to make these adjustments at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, so Kyle, for those of you that don't know, the 49ers track how many hours players look at stuff on the iPads that are team issued. And Trey Lance has spent the most time. This was reported by Peter King. And then Kyle obviously is going to get asked about it, and he says something. I just pulled up the quote. I also know how electronics work. You can press play and watch a movie and act like it was on for 8 hours. So I think it's so interesting that Kyle is the only dude saying it's not negative stuff, but he's like pump the brakes a little bit, which I think is fair. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves and expect a Patrick Mahomes like season from this guy. He is going to be a rookie, even if he does start week one. I'm not even if he starts week one. That's to say that he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. Seems a little bit rich, but I guess we will wait and see. Matt is the former quarterback, so I think he can speak a little bit better about the throwing motion. But the thing that I'm most excited about is seeing how this dude can use his legs to really open up this Niners offense to something that we haven't seen. Kyle is a guy who, if he has a guy with the tools, is fine running the quarterback. RG3 during his rookie year probably ran like 120 times for 800 yards. And I don't think that's outlandish to say that Trey Lance could better both of those numbers. He's a more physical guy, a bigger guy who I think is going to get a lot of red zone carries and just opens up stuff and gives Kyle just another toy to play with when he's already so good with the stuff that he already has. I think it's so exciting and really, like we mentioned earlier, makes this 49ers offense potential really limitless.